Hello friend. So as part of this video we are going to discuss this tool categories. There is another operations called the MCP toolings. Okay, so this is not available into the older version of the connectors of the Inference connectors. Okay, so this is available I think 1.2.0. Okay, so the purpose of these things is how we can able to use our MCP servers while we are interacting with the LLM, which is like in my case, which I'm going to use the OpenAI. Okay, so think from, let me give you some details about this MCP tooling. Okay, so this Mule application showcase like this when I'm talking about the Mule case applications, so which I'm whatever I'm going to demonstrate. Okay, showcase the use of the MCP tooling operations to interact with the OpenAI, okay, via MCP connectors. Okay, so these operations enable you to execute tools hosted on the MCP server directly through the user defined instructions. Okay, so think from that perspective. Suppose the user is going to give a plain normal text, okay, like the instruction, or you can say the prompt. Okay, or on the basis of that instruction data set, okay, internally you are going to hit to the get the available tools or through the MCP clients. Okay, and from that, once you are going to get the exact tools, okay, then you are going to connect with the some different LLM. So in my case I'm using the OpenAI. Okay, so it is this MCP tooling allows Inference Connector to expose your Mule API flows connectors as AI tools, letting the model reasons and act with the real enterprise data safely and under governance. So we are going to see as part of the demonstration how this Inference Connector, this MCP tooling is going to referring actually the MCP clients, okay, and it is going to invoke to the MCP server. Okay, so let's quickly move on to the demo. Okay, so if you see this, I have created one of the very basic endpoint which I'm going to send this the MCP tooling basic. Okay, and this is the MCP tooling basic endpoints. Okay, which basically here going to hit the MCP tooling. So that is nothing but, if you see this Inference Connector, we have the MCP tooling. Okay, so what all configuration which is looking for is, so this is looking for the inference text generation configurations which we have already discussed in our previous. So it's going to get only the OpenAPI key and the models whichever you want to select. Apart from that, no other configurations. And if you see here the connection, it using the OpenAI. Okay, now coming to the next, if you see here, it is going to keeping this details about the MCP config reference, which means that at this latest this MCP toolings or this which is available this operations, okay, it has the capability, it can referring the MCP client. Okay, so this MCP client HTTP is nothing but my MCP client connections. If you see here, it is going to point the MCP server, and this is the MCP endpoint. Okay, along with this client name, client, and here I'm using the authentication as a basic. Okay, because I need to pass the username or password. So in terms of the client ID or client secret, the value I'm going to pass as a username and password. Okay, and this is nothing but, if you remember my previous videos, okay, so it is there into the here this MCP server which is already up and running here. So this is the MCP server which is already up and running. Okay, so if you see here, this is the MCP URL, okay, which we have referred. This is the path. Okay, and if you see here, it is up and running, and since my client is connected already, okay, so it is also authenticated through the session lead listeners. Okay, so which means that it is allowed to process that request from this client. Okay, so that we are going to pass here. Okay, and this is what we are going to pass from the postman as a like client request. So one is the template, one is the instruction, and one is the data set. We are not using any additional request attributes at this moment. Okay, once it is going to configure, and as part of this response, what we are going to return, we are going to return both payload as well as the attributes. So this is just for this informations, okay, what all the informations it is going to returns whenever it is going to interact with the this LLM, which is the OpenAI, using the reference of the MCP clients. Okay, so let's quickly go to this Postman, okay, and let me use this MCP tooling basics one. Okay, so this is whatever I have run or tested earlier, but let me rerun it. Okay, so what I'm saying that passing as template, okay, you are an helpful assistant. Okay, what is the instruction I'm passing? Answer the request with the politeness. I'm just giving one instruction. And what the data set I am passing? Fetch a case details where case ID is this. Okay, so I'm giving this data set, and to whom I'm sending? This is I'm sending to the endpoint, which basically connecting to the, my assumption is it is connecting to the LLM. Okay, but LLM, this is OpenAI, they are not aware about like what is this case ID, because they are not anywhere going to, what you can say, refer to your Salesforce to fetch this ID. Okay, but while I'm going to run it, you will see that since we have using the MCP client, it is going to hit to the server, and then it is going to return this response. Okay, so this is how. And although if you see internally, it is going to using this MuleSoft Inference Connector for the text generation. Okay, so let's see how it is going to behave. See what it is going to, okay, is it okay? So fetch case details by case ID. See, whenever I have hit this, okay, see what is the returning from this response, and this is response is coming from the this part here. If you see here, see, okay, so response it is going to send, okay, these are the tools, boss. Okay, and this is the tool execution like content, error, MCP client. Okay, actually this content is saying type text. Okay, let me see whether is there any issue. Okay, maybe this MCP. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me restart my MCP server. Okay. So just stop, let me start it. Okay, so we will try to run, because it should send us these details. So here if you see the contents is coming null, means the text is null, which means the response has not returned from the MCP, but ideally it should give the response after executing this fetch case details. Okay, so looking into that, we can able to see, although it selected the correct tools, so this is the name of the tools like fetch case details by case ID, it's tried to execute, but due to something like we are going to get some error. And if you see here, error is true, which means that something happened wrong. Okay, so we need to look into the log. Okay, if suppose this is the false, means we have the success. Okay, although this is success, but here the error is true, means someone like something is there. Okay, this is the attribute count. Okay, so here if you see, it is going to give the token uses for this, how many token has been used, output count, total count, input count. So this is going to giving this result. If you see this, okay, this is significantly going to impact over the billing. Okay, of your like OpenAI where you have used. Okay, because it is going to consume the huge tokens. Okay, these kind of things are going to consume the huge tokens. Okay, so make sure like while we are doing the testing or these things, okay, we need to make sure like we are in the correct path. So let me see, so it is still applying. Okay, let's one apply more times. Yeah, so if you see now, this is up and running. Okay, here this is up and running. Okay, so let me try to hit and see what is happening again. Okay, so this is the postman. Let me try to hit this. So ideally we should get the response as well, because we should get the fetch content details, the error, like the success response. Okay, okay, what happens? Template UR something 400 as it did not specify content type. Okay, what is happening? Maybe it's not fully started, so let's wait. Okay, maybe it's not fully started. Yeah, yeah, okay, let me try again. Let me try again. Okay, so now it has hit. Okay, this is okay. Maybe this is something related with authentication. Let me restart this my app. Okay, okay, so if you see, I have just restarted my app again. Okay, so it is deployed, and once it is deployed, you can see it is just now is trigger like authenticated. Okay, so now it is fine. Seems like at that time I have restarted the MCP server, and this client was like the authentication was getting failed, so that's the reason. Okay, let me try now with this. Hopefully this time it should work. Okay, because now authentication is going to happen, everything's okay. So now it's perfect. Okay, so now what I did, if you see the fetch case details where case ID is this, I'm just sending this. Okay, it is giving me, see, this is the payload and these were the tools it got called, and this tools is nothing but the fetch case details by case ID. Okay, along with, it's not only giving me this reasoning of the like the which tools it has executed, along with it's giving the entire details of this uh, response. Okay, and here if you see the error is the false, means no error. And apart from that, here you can see the attributes like what is the token usage. Okay, these kind of things. Okay, apart from that, it is also giving few the additional attributes where this prompt filter result, content filter result, okay, finish reasons, okay, and which the model has been used while we are going to connect with the OpenAI that I have used. Okay, and this is the ID of that particular whole the conversations. So these all details. Okay, but things like think from that perspective. Okay, although this is good for the technicals, okay, like where we are going to see. Okay, but this is not good like when we are dealing with the customers or business peoples. Okay, so how we can able to enhance in such a way, like although it is going to call, but response should be like the natural language. Okay, if I wanted to check the status of this case details, okay, and the value of the case details. Okay, so that we wanted to see. Okay, so how we can be able to do that. Okay, so what I did, okay, let me remove this. I created one of the advanced version of that. Okay, and till here this is the same versions, like it is using the MCP client. Okay, I'm going to send this template instruction data set. Okay, this is the response I am taking. This is the same response. Okay, and what I did, I am taking the from that response, I'm just taking the text contents. Okay, because my purpose of to use this only taking with this examples. Okay, so my intention is just extract these values. Okay, I don't as of now for my business use cases require this tools informations or this informations. Okay, so what I did, I just extracted this value in this format. Okay, I took this value. Okay, let me see if I can able to show you from the data view where not this one. Yeah, suppose these were the result which I took. Okay, if you see this extract value, so I have taken this value into the JSONs. Okay, Why I have taken this value into the JSON? Because that response I have logged here. Okay, I'm now creating one of the request. Okay, so this is I have taken the very like the in a static way, but think from that perspective. Whenever you wanted to check the status of the case, or you wanted to send this new notification, so we can create the different flavor of the templates in the case of the case status update, case on hold, okay, case is escalated, okay. And this template could be possible to put these values, okay, on the basis of these values which are coming, okay. So whatever the value which is coming here, okay, we can able to put into our template, and we can able to, so why I'm putting this, so my purpose is to send this informations into the defined prompt template, so that we can able to create one of the template related informations, okay, and to get the what you can say, the normal text or descriptions or summary, so that I can able to notify to the customers or anyone, okay. So what I did, I took this data set where, okay, and I'm using this agent defined prompt template as part of this MuleSoft Inference Connector that we have seen earlier. I'm passing this template where, so this is template where is nothing but whatever I have stored from the request one, okay, from there, okay. But here the data set where is nothing but that is the value from whatever I have created into this prompt. So that one I am passing here, okay, and I am returning this response try to the into the YAML. So let's see how this is whole is going to behave. So this was the basic ones, okay. Let me took the advanced one, okay. So I did like I just modify a little bit without template, but more or less if you say like I'm using the plain language only. So template, I'm saying you are the customer support agent who analyze the customer care details in the data set, okay. And what is the data set? So as of now this data set is this, but while it is running dynamically, this data set is getting converted into the proper JSON by using the MCP tools, okay. So I'm saying that these are the available into here, okay. What instruction I'm giving? Answer via plain text output with all recommended personalized response. Do not repeat the response directly. Start the conversation with formal greetings. So these kind of the instruction I'm giving it, okay. So that I have tested earlier, but let's test one more times, okay. So if you see here, so we have received here this message, okay. If you see here, it has faced that tools, the MCP client, okay. So this by using the MCP clients, it's executed the correct tools, and if you see what is the response it is giving, okay. So this is the response we have received here. If you see, like, dear Rajiv Ranjan, thank you for reaching out the regarding issue. So it's giving the like the very clear message to the customers, or to the anyone's like analyst or whosoever is going to involve in a very plain language, okay. So although we are not redirecting which tools used to call, okay, we are just giving the proper prompt, and it is going to through this by using the OpenAI, by using the this your MCP server, it's fetching the details, and by using the agent defined prompt template, it's converting into the this format. And if you see looking into this any point management, so here you can see this all response to fetching this MCP server to get the what you can say this case details is coming from the MCP server. So this MCP server which is getting hit by the MCP this tooling with the reference of the MCP client, it is getting this, okay. So this is how I have explored this MCP tooling is going to, maybe we can make it more generic as per the business use case. So I will recommend you just go by yourself, okay, try to explore some more, and thanks for your times, okay, thanks for watching, thank you.